You're listening to an African Elements top news story for June 5th, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. Fighting Environmental Racism in Louisiana's Cancer Alley by Darius Spearman, African Elements. For too long, communities in Louisiana have watched as heavy industry reshaped their neighborhoods. This is a story of resistance, especially in St. James Parish, where brave individuals are fighting back against what many call environmental racism. A federal appellate court recently delivered a major victory, allowing a civil rights lawsuit to move forward. This lawsuit claims that St. James Parish has used racist land use policies. These policies have placed polluting industries directly into majority black communities. This fight exposes a harsh truth about environmental racism. It is the disproportionate exposure of communities of color to environmental hazards and pollutants. This often comes from systemic racism woven into policies, zoning laws, and industrial practices. These harmful practices negatively impact our communities, leading to increased health risks and damaged environments. Moreover, this form of discrimination shows itself in various ways, including issues with housing, employment, and overall environmental health for black communities. The lawsuit involves Cancer Alley, a grim nickname for a Louisiana region along the Mississippi River. This area is home to many industrial facilities, particularly petrochemical plants. Sadly, this concentration of industry has resulted in high pollution levels and health dangers. This area's history of environmental injustice is well known, with residents facing increased exposure to toxic chemicals. They also experience higher rates of cancer. The term Cancer Alley makes it clear how industrial activities unfairly burden minority communities. These communities bear the brunt of environmental pollution. The lawsuit, brought by faith-based community groups, specifically points to racial discrimination in the massive petrochemical build-out within St. James Parish. A petrochemical build-out means the growth or creation of facilities that make chemicals from oil and natural gas. This includes building new refineries and chemical plants. Such expansions have caused much conflict in places like Cancer Alley. They greatly impact local health and environmental quality. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals played a crucial role in this case. It is a federal appellate court that hears cases from Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. This court has a big say in reviewing lower court decisions, including those about our environment. Their decisions can greatly influence legal standards and how federal laws are understood, especially those related to environmental justice. Initially, the case faced a setback. A lower court dismissed it, citing issues with standing and statute of limitations. Legal standing means that a plaintiff must show direct harm or a risk of harm to have the right to sue. This rule ensures that only those genuinely affected can bring a case. In environmental cases, plaintiffs often prove they have suffered a concrete injury from pollution. A statute of limitations is a law that sets a time limit for filing a lawsuit. If a case is not filed within this period, it might be thrown out. However, the Fifth Circuit reversed this dismissal. This was a significant moment for the community. The court recognized the plaintiff's claims of ongoing discriminatory practices. They also acknowledged that injuries could be traced back to the local authorities' actions. This marked a turning point. It highlights the intersection of industrial growth, racial equity, and the rights of communities. This case could set a new standard for addressing historical discrimination in these matters. If it succeeds, it might improve the legal framework for fighting environmental racism and prejudice, shaping future legal strategies. The lawsuit seeks a moratorium on building and expanding petrochemical plants in St. James Parish. A moratorium is a temporary stop or suspension of an activity or policy. In environmental situations, it means pausing further development of polluting facilities until environmental problems are fixed. Such a pause can give communities and regulators time to check environmental impacts. It also helps them put safety measures in place. In St. James Parish, an alarming 20 out of 24 industrial facilities are located in areas with majority black populations. This pattern of placing industries in black communities is not accidental. It developed historically due to systemic racism, unfair zoning practices, and economic factors. These factors concentrated polluting industries in these areas. Historical racial segregation has greatly contributed to black communities facing greater environmental risks. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, found that St. James Parish has higher cancer death rates than the national average. This report dates back to 2003. Both majority black sections of the parish face a high risk of cancer from pollutants. Pollutants linked to cancer risks often include volatile organic compounds, VOCs, particulate matter, PM, and other hazardous chemicals. Industrial facilities release these dangerous substances. Exposure to these pollutants can greatly increase cancer rates and cause other serious health issues for residents. Moreover, industries like oil refineries and chemical plants are major sources of pollution. They release harmful substances into the air and water, creating significant health risks for nearby communities. People living close to these facilities often suffer higher rates of breathing problems and other illnesses because of pollution. These dangerous emissions can indeed exceed safety standards. The lawsuit hopes to force industries and governments to fix these injustices. The EPA plays a crucial role in regulating these issues, enforcing federal environmental laws. It ensures industries meet environmental standards to protect the public and the environment. This includes conducting environmental impact assessments and enforcing laws like the Clean Air Act. This lawsuit embodies the spirit of environmental justice. This concept means the fair sharing of environmental benefits and burdens for all people. It pushes for environmental racism to be addressed, ensuring all communities have clean air, water, and safe living conditions. Environmental justice involves legal and advocacy efforts. They protect communities from disproportionate environmental harm. Civil rights lawsuits frame environmental issues in a specific way. They argue that environmental policies or practices disproportionately affect communities of color. This violates their civil rights under laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Such lawsuits often claim that discriminatory practices in zoning, permitting, or policymaking lead to unfair environmental hardships. These cases aim to correct systemic discrimination. They also work to ensure environmental regulations are applied equally for everyone. The specific faith-based community groups involved in this St. James Parish case are not named. However, such groups often play a vital role in environmental justice movements. They use their community influence to advocate for environmental rights, showing deep commitment to their neighbors. The outcome of this case could reshape how environmental protections are understood for all communities. It highlights the power of people to resist injustice. The current specific details about new industrial projects or expansions in St. James Parish are not available. However, the call for a moratorium indicates ongoing or planned industrial activities that worry communities. People fear more pollution and risks to their health. The role of the industrial companies as defendants is also not specified in the information available. Nevertheless, in environmental justice cases, companies can be held accountable for harm to the environment. Their specific role would relate to the legal claims made in the lawsuit. The EPA's current actions regarding facility compliance are not detailed in the provided materials. Typically, the EPA can inspect facilities, issue fines, and enforce environmental regulations. They also work with communities to address their concerns. The public's response to the court's decision is not fully explained. Despite this, community and national organizations often organize rallies. They raise awareness and support affected communities. These groups also pursue legal appeals. They push for new policies to fix environmental injustices. Their ongoing advocacy is critical for bringing true justice to Cancer Alley and beyond. Copyright African Elements.